Well, hi everyone. I'm Judy Elliott with Elliott Media. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to be talking with Mitch Sanford, who is the president of First Bank of Dalton and also First Bank of Calhoun. Hey, Mitch, it's great to have you here with me today.
Hey, Judy, good to be with you.
It's a new way. It's a new world.
It sure is, isn't it? New things every day, right?
Definitely so. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about, so many changes that's been happening with the COVID-19. I mean, it's brought on new ways of doing everything, basically, a new norm, as we might speak. How has COVID-19 affected when it comes to the banking industry, Mitch?
Well, as you've probably seen, I think everyone has seen, what's it been now? Probably 30 days ago, we shut our lobbies. All of our banking today is through our drive-throughs, ATMs. We're doing signing documents digitally, so you don't have to, be at the bank. We have, on occasion, someone need to get in their safety deposit box, have to let someone inside the bank. But for the most part, 99% of the banking today is being done not inside the bank. And I'll tell you what has surprised me about that is the fact that of how little disruption that seems to have had. Now, I know business activity in general has been reduced, obviously, but nevertheless, we have all been very pleased with how banking, financial transactions have continued without folks being in the line.
Right. I mean, you think, I guess, in the past that we always, we could drive through or we could go in the bank. A lot of times people just like to choose going into the lobby and talking to people. Being part of the family there. But with this, it's certainly brought a change that people are just driving through. What about how it's made a difference? I mean, it seems like you're still, able to serve your customers in all capacities, though.
Oh, yeah. I would tell you this. I don't think one thing has been limited or not being able to be done at all, even in this last month. Again, even loans and all those things. New accounts, we've opened new accounts. Of course, all the transactional business, again, whether it's through the ATM or the drive-through. So, yes, I would say you're 100% right there. There's not been one thing we've not been able to accomplish, some way. Yeah.
Well, one of the questions I wonder about, though, is about loans. And how has that changed things? And is it harder to get a loan now?
Judy, that's a great question. I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you one of my attorney friends' answer on that is, and it depends. Obviously, we're still in the business of doing loans and still doing loans. But here's why I say it depends. I mean, obviously, with the COVID-19 and the economic activity being less. I mean, some businesses with the shelter in place that's been in force now for several weeks have literally had to either shut down completely, or even if you were able to stay open, it was at a much reduced level for a restaurant, for instance. Even with the drive-through or curbside, most of their revenues were dramatically reduced. So all that to say is we're still here doing loans and have been doing loans. But some of that depends on how your business has been affected, the general economic conditions. We were just talking about that this morning. It has changed things, and it has changed things to the point to where none of us have been here before, right?
Right.
So how quickly we come out, what does that look like? What industries come out first? All of those questions that we'd like some clarity on, and the customer really would like some clarity on as we're talking to them about a loan. Some of those things are just still unclear. It's just unknown at this point. So I guess again, there's not really a short answer to your question. We are still doing loans, banks in general. We're still doing loans, no question about it. But again, I think the economic situation itself is still so uncertain that itself will change.
Right.
Now, listen, I'll tell you, I heard a really positive note though last week, in that there was like 40 new homes that went under contract here in our local area. Yes, just in the last 10 days. Can you believe that?
That's surprising. That's surprising.
That's awesome, really. I was talking with one builder developer yesterday, and he was telling me how their activity has been really fantastic. So that's great news. That's great news for all of us. Yes.
That is great. And you mentioned small businesses, and as we all have been in tune to it with the SBA Paycheck Protection Program. Have you been part of that as a with First Bank of Dalton, First Bank of Calhoun? How has that came together? How have you worked with clients with that?
Well, I'll tell you, we just talking about the lending activity. I will tell you the last 3 to 4 weeks, really from a lending standpoint, has been 99.9% all about that particular piece. So yes, we are doing those loans. Glad to do that to help our local businesses, survive during this unprecedented economic time with this COVID-19 virus. So listen, we have been living that 24/7, 360, or not 365, 24/7 these last 3 to 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, it has been good and it has been bad all at the same time, in the fact of obviously many of our local businesses. I mean, again, as we talked a few minutes ago with the economic activity, that they need this lifeline to get through this time and to get folks back to work and to bring folks, keep folks working. So all that's great. It's been a challenge to roll out this size of a program nationwide in such a short time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Rules and things were changing really on the fly and really still are. The second round of funding started yesterday morning at 10:30, and so we've been feverishly trying to get those applications in.
Right. So it's not too late. So you can still apply.
You sure can. If you go by time, the actual program is available through June the 30th. Now, the big thing is the funding, right? The first round of funding was used up, expired, I think it was April 15th. The second round of funding, which again was effective to start applying for at 10:30 yesterday morning. I'll tell you, I think I'm not coming up with a prediction that's not what everybody else's consensus is, and that is this second round of funding will also be used 100%. I don't think it will last through the end of June.
Right. No.
So if you're going to apply, if you're going to apply, you need to get, honestly, you need to get it done today. I know there are some banks that are not taking applications anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We have not gotten to that point to where we're not taking applications, but I would say, Judy, that anybody that just applies for the first time today, I couldn't give them a whole lot of assurances that, again, the monies is going to be there long enough to get their application done. So.
Right. Okay. All right. Being a locally owned bank, First Bank of Dalton, First Bank of Calhoun, really and truly, you're really the only locally owned bank here left in the Dalton market, aren't you? We are. And listen, I would tell you, I think especially during the times in which we're in, here's the biggest thing I think that has meant to us and to our customers and to our community. And that is when you pick up the phone and call us, if it was about your PPP loan or anything like that, you can, first of all, you talk to a person and you can talk to somebody that can give you some information. I mean, a lot of the folks out there that have gone through these processes at some of the larger banks, it's very automated. So when you want to speak with someone about the status of, or where is it at, or, do you need anything else from me? Just general questions. You can't get anybody on the phone that can give you that information. Right. So we've been very thankful. Our folks have worked tremendous, long hours, hard work and really, Judy, with the goal of serving our customers and serving our community. Really. Right. That's so important because, when you're faced with a situation like this, again, we've never been here before, but we've also been there to where a lot of people have lost their jobs and a lot of people have had reduced hours. and to have you guys there as our neighbor, as our friend, locally owned, means a lot to us, I can tell you. So thank you.
Well, listen, we're thank you. I appreciate that. I tell folks this, and this is just as true today as it ever was, is that, we don't have branches all over the country and big cities and somewhere else that can carry the heavy lifting. We're committed to our community right here, and we got to all be strong through this and help each other through it.
Definitely so. Hey, let's talk about also, I want to mention all your locations. Let's cover that before our time's up here. Where are you located everywhere?
Yeah, we've got basically 5 locations in Dalton. We've got our main office here at Hamilton Street downtown. We've got our Walnut Avenue office out there on the corner of MLK and Walnut Avenue, East Walnut Avenue. We've got another full-service office out on Sugar Road, right there in the strip center where you turn, kind of go in the backside of the Walmart there.
Mm-hmm.
We've got drive-through locations. We've got one up in Cleveland Highway, there in that Tractor Supply shopping center. And then we've got a drive-through only there on South 41, just not far past the intersection there with Walnut Avenue on the left, kind of across from the gondoliers there.
Right.
It's drive-through only.
Okay.
Drive-through there. And then, of course, got our full service banking facility there in Calhoun.
Yeah.
First Bank of Calhoun office there on 53. Highway 53.
That's a beautiful location too.
Right. Yeah. We're excited about all that's going on there in Calhoun. Yeah.
Definitely so. I also want to mention, do you have any plans, or do you know when you'll be actually opening up from the going into the bank? Any plans for that? Have any idea?
Yeah. Listen, and I appreciate you asking. I tell you, we are already having lots of conversation about that, Judy. We have not at this point picked a date, if you will. What we are doing, though, is trying to think through our procedures on the day that we do that. I think, based on the information we have today, I would tell you, I think that date of opening the lobby is going to be in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But again, what we want to make sure we have in place is the procedures and how we're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we've talked about already, whatever this new normal is, for whatever this period of time is, we're going to have to do some things differently. Our customers are going to have to be ready to do some things differently,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so we're trying to think through all of that before we do it.
Definitely so. And actually, if you see this out on social media or wherever you see our interview here, definitely check to see if things have changed with First Bank of Dalton, First Bank of Calhoun. The doors may be open. I don't know, but always keep trying to find out, right?
Well,
keep us posted.
We will, and I appreciate you saying that, because obviously when we make that decision, we will get that information out, social media, newspaper,
Okay.
Our signage at the bank. So we'll let everybody know. You bet.
All right. Mitch, thank you so much for being with us here. First Bank of Dalton, First Bank of Calhoun. We appreciate all you're doing for our community. Thanks again for being with us here with Elliott Media.
Pleasure being with you. Thank you, Judy. Appreciate you.
To advertise your business on TV, contact Elliott Media at 706-529-4237.